Hello YouTube family, welcome to this lecture on AWS topics, and my name is Zubair, and in this video we are going to talk about the EC2, and I will demonstrate how to spin up an EC2 instance which is Linux based. In my previous video we have seen how to spin up an EC2 instance which is Windows based and how you can RDP into it. Now in this video we will take up a Linux instance, and then we will see how to connect to that instance, what options you have, right? So let's begin with the process. First thing you need to do is you have to log into your AWS console, and then you have to make sure that the region that you want to spin up the instance is selected here. So for example, I want to spin up the instance in, say, Mumbai. So I'll go to that region, Mumbai, and then I will go to the service EC2. Now you can go from here as well. You will just search for EC2, and this will bring up the EC2 service here, or else like me you can have a favorites button here and then go there, and also you can get the recently visited services here on the console home, or you can click here in the services and then go to compute and then go to EC2. There are multiple ways to access the service. Now once you are in the EC2 management dashboard, then you can see what all EC2 instances you are running in the region, which is Mumbai, and I see no instances are there, and I have some key pairs and I have security group 16 of them. I want to go to the key pair because I need a key pair, or else I can download this key pair while I'm creating the instance. Let's do that. Let's go to the instances, and I will say launch an instance here, or you can click on the top orange icon as well. Now once I have clicked on the launch instance, this will load the instance wizard, launch instance wizard. Now you can name this, say I'll say demo Linux EC2. Let's name it like that. Yep. So yeah, that will suffice. And then you have to select the AMI. Now if you have your own AMIs, this will be shown here if you have a backup AMI and all those things, as I have this one, right? So you can see demo custom servers ZB, I have an AMI, and I can go to this which is owned by me and shared. Also you can see if someone else has shared the AMIs, which you can see that here. You can also go to marketplace, wherein you can just upload your AMIs, or other users also do have some AMIs, ready-made AMIs, which you can find free as well as you can purchase them. Now if you go to the quick start, you will find the AMIs that you can use, for example based on the OS. We are going for the Linux. You can go for Ubuntu, Red Hat, SUSE, but we are going for the Amazon flavor of Linux, which is Amazon Linux, and specifically we are going for Amazon Linux 2, which is basically free tier eligible. So you can run this instance if you have the type as a T2 micro for a whole month continuously, if you keep this on 750 hours, right, which is free with the fresh account. And then architecture, I'll keep it as 64-bit. This is the AMI ID. If you want to copy it and use it later on, you can do that. Then you have to select the instance type. I hope I've seen this. I've shown this in the previous video as well. So you can just go with the other options if you want, but I will stick to the free tier eligible, which is T2 micro with 1 vCPU and 1 GB of RAM. Enough for me. Then I have the key pair. Now if I have these key pairs with me, then I can use one of them, but I don't have it, so I'll create a new one. I'll say this is demo, or I can say EC2. I'll go back and say Linux EC2 KP, key pair, right? And the key type, pair type, I want to keep it as RSA. And then you have the option for private key format, file format, PEM, and the PPK. Now ppk you can use with, as this says, you can use with putty and also OpenSSH. Now I will show you how to use this with putty, but I will download the PEM, create and download that. Once I create, it will automatically be downloaded to my system, and I will create this, and you will see this has been downloaded to my system in the downloads folder. So that is there. Now let's move on to the next section, which is the networking section. I don't want to change the VPC. I have only one default VPC which is there. Now I don't have any preferences for the subnet, but if you have multiple subnets, then you can select it here. And I want to keep this auto assign public IP enabled. Now for the security group, I want to let's see if I have a security group which has SSH enabled. So I do see a lot of them, and I see one which says HTTP and SSH. So let me go with this, and if not, you can create a new one which enables only SSH. That's what we need. And the storage, the root volume, right, root volume that I need is 8 GB, and this is a GP2 type. We will see this in the storage section, what types we have. That's all. I can just go on and launch this. And there we go. Now we have successfully initiated the launch of EC instance, and I can click on this and I can go to that instance and see the status on that. Now this should not take long, because this is like a Linux instance with an SSD. So once we have it visible here, it should be running. So you can see the instance state is running now. Once this is up, you have multiple ways to connect to it now. Okay, so one method is to connect using the PEM key that we have. So for that, what you can do is you can use the PowerShell. I will go and run the PowerShell here. So this method you can use on both the Windows 10 and the Linux. So now basically what you have to do is, if you go here just to see the command, the best way is to go and select that EC2 instance and click on this connect button. Now here it gives you options, right? It gives you EC2 instance connect. This is one of the ways which you can connect to the instance using the web browser itself. But the one we are going to use is using the SSH client. So I'll click here. It says locate the private key file, the key used to launch this instance, which was the Linux EC2 KP. So it gives you the name as well. I can copy that. Then says run this command if necessary to ensure your key is not publicly available. So that because we created new, so we have to change the permissions on this key. Then you have to connect using this public domain. It gives you an example of the whole command as well, SSH -i, and then the key pair, and then EC2 user, which is the default username on Amazon Linux to image. Make sure you remember this, and at the rate you can give the DNS or the IP address, the public IP address, which you can get from here. Once you are here on the instance, you can find the, wait a sec, you can find the IP address here, the public IP address on the instance. Now if you click here on the checkbox, it gives you the public IP, and also you can find a lot of other information, the VPC. This is an auto assigned. If you had an elastic IP, it will show up here. We will see this in the future videos about the elastic IP and all. So yeah, so you can see the key pair as well. Now how to connect? Now let's use the SSH from the PowerShell or from the a Linux machine. Now to do that, you have to type in the SSH command, and if you find something like this, that means you are running SSH on your system. Now most of the Windows 10 would come with this, but if you don't have it, then you have to install SSH. Now how do I connect to this? Now first of all, I have to know where my this key is. Now if you go here, it says chmod 400 and change mod, and then 400, and then the key pair, right? So I gave the whole path of that, and I don't think I can. Okay, this is the one. So 0400 or I think chmod command is not valid in this. Okay, so this is not working. Fine. Now actually the command is ssh minus you can say hyphen I minus I, then you give this whole key path, and then you say EC2 hyphen user at the rate and the IP, which is basically here, or you can go with the DNS, public DNS IPv4, right? IPv4 DNS. So I'll go with this and let's try this. And let's hit and yes here, and then I'm in. Yeah, so that's how you connect using the using an PowerShell, or you can use the um, Ubuntu or Linux, whatever. You can use this same method. Even on the Mac, you use the same method. Okay, so I can from here, as I know that I have a public IP and this is in the public subnet, then that means my EC2 instance is able to reach to the internet. So I can ping any IP on the internet, and that would be reachable. Even I can do a curl on www.google and google.com. This should work. Yeah, so I'm getting the body of the Google response of that body. You can see all this, right? And also you can do a ping to the domain itself, right? So that's how you connect to the Amazon EC2. Now that is one way, right? And now if you have Windows which is like below 10, then you don't have the SSH and all installed on the PowerShell and all. So how do you do connect to that? Now for that you have to you have to have the PuTTY software. Now in the PuTTY, first of all you have this PuTTY gen. One thing is you should have the PuTTY this, and then you search and go to the search PuTTY, and you will see PuTTY gen there. Run that first. So you have the PuTTY gen here, and then first of all you do a load command. I mean click on this load, and then go to the downloads where you have the key. So this is the key, not this one. I can say all files here, and I will find the key which I downloaded right now, Linux EC2 KP. I'll open it, and which is loaded here. Now I will save the private key here. Okay, save private key, yes, and I will name this uh say EC2 Linux .ppk. Okay, and save it. Done. That's all you need to do here. Then you close the generator, the PuTTY key generator, and then you come up here and then you define the host name. You can go with EC2 hyphen user if you are familiar. If you know the username, but in this case we have the username, and then you go for the IP address, which in our case is this one. So I'll copy this, paste it here, and I'm doing an SSH which is on port 22. Now next what I need to do is I need to go to this SSH here under connection. If it's not like this, expand the connection, and there's SSH there, expand that as well. Then you have auth. Under auth you see private key file for authentication. Click on browse, and then you select the key that you just created, the PPP, the private key basically, EC2 Linux. Load it here, and now hit on open. Okay, now you can also save this, but I'll say open, and this should give you something like this, PuTTY security alert. Click on yes, and then you are inside the EC2. You can see here this is the same as this one, and you can see the IP. This is the private IP 172.31.46.63. So this was the second method how you can basically SSH into your Linux using the PuTTY. Now the third option is through the EC2 Instance Connect. Now when you go to the EC2 here, select here, and then click on the connect, you will end up here on this page. Then the first option is EC2 Instance Connect. Now if You see here you have everything here, the username, EC2 hyphen user. By default it is there, but if it's not there, you can just enter the username and then hit on connect. Now once you do that, this is automatically going to use the demo Linux that keygen that you created, and then connect using the browser itself. Now this, all of this would not work if you don't have the SSH port open in the security group. So connect, it will open up a terminal in the browser itself, and remember the IP 172.31.46. If you see an up arrow key, you should see the commands there that we just typed in. So we have this open here, 4663, same IP 31.46.63, 31.46.63, right? So that is how you have different ways and methods to connect to the EC2 Amazon Linux 2 EC2 instance inside AWS. Now the same thing would not work if I removed the SSH rule from my security group. For example, if I go here and go into the security, I will see the security group here, and I will click on the group, and I will go into the security group here. And if I see the inbound, we'll see the security groups in detail later, but just to show you a glimpse of it, for example, the SSH is there, which is allowing from anywhere. I will just delete this and save it. Now the same three things that we were using, this is not going to work now. Right? Or if I go here, say Control C, nothing is going to work. Or even if I go to the instance connect and close it and now do the connect, I have lost this session. Now if I do a restart of the session, this would never work. See the instance connect, it's just saying establish connection, and this is also not working, and this will also fail. Right, I've selected, and after some time you will see the error or the failed message appear here as well, and here also you don't have it. Now if I enable this again on the SG, so I'll say add a rule, I'll say SSH, this custom, and I'll say all, and I'll say save. Now let's do all of this again. So the effect is instant on the security groups, see, and also here if I do a connect, they should log me in to the EC2 instance CLI. Great. So that was all about spinning up an EC2 instance which is Linux based and connecting to it in different ways. Now there is one more method, which is the if you don't want to use the key, you can do what you can have a RSA key generated on your system. Now if you see how to generate an RSA key, generate RSA on Windows 10, right? Like this, you can just give it a search for Ubuntu, for Windows, PowerShell, whatever you want. You can do a generate from the PuTTY keygen as well, and let's say on the PowerShell, if I want to do like this, let's type in that, and you should have a command saying yeah, this one, SSH keygen, and then you would press enter this. Yeah, so you can go to here, copy this. I already have this, but just to show you, you can do it like this and then hit enter. So I have this already, so I'll just close it. Now how you connect to the instance using this is you basically go and cat or open up that what do you say, the so I'm inside the Linux, so I'll exit here, and then here you have to basically see the cat SSH. Now I want to see where I have this one. This is the keygen. So I need to see the RSA. Where is my RSA on the system? So if I go here, yeah, I have this in the C users admin SSH, and this is the um, default path. So you can see C users admin dot ssh, and you would have the RSA. So I'll just copy this, go back, and what I can do is I can do a cat on this one and do a dot pub. So I need to copy the public key. This is my public key, all of it. I need to copy this. Okay, I'll copy it, and then I will log into my uh, client here on the EC2 instance, and then I will do nano or any editor you can use. Nano, I use nano or vi nano. Then you have the SSH, then you have authorized keys, enter. Now you add your key here. So I'll say you can comment and say, if you have multiple keys, obviously you will say which one is whose. So this is mine, so I'll say like this. Now the copy, now the key has been pasted. If you see like this, then you press on Control O and hit enter, and Control X. Done. Now you have the public key on the Amazon Linux inside the instance, right? EC2 instance. And from your side, you have to use your private key that you only own, or you only have this one, not the public, the private. Okay, you say SSH hyphen I, and then the key, and then you say the same thing, EC2 hyphen user at the rate the IP, and should have the IP here. Go here, copy this, and then here and paste it, then hit enter, and you're inside the EC2 instance without using the PEM key. Now you're using your own private and public key. So likewise, if you want to add someone else, you go here, ask for the public key, and add the public key to this list, and he can log in using his private key, right? So hope you liked this video, and see you in the next video. Please stay connected, and like and share my videos as much as possible. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.